Welcome to Women Leaders, Secrets to Success. I am your host, Jessica Franzini. Joining us today is Brianne Davis from Los Angeles. Brianne is an actress of television and film, a director, and a new author. Good morning, Brianne. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. I hope everyone's having a lovely Monday morning.
We are. Thank you so much. And you're making it better by joining us today, that's for sure. I appreciate it. I wanted to talk to you because you are a new author and your book is climbing up the charts on Amazon. So can you tell everybody about it?
Yeah, it's called Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict. It's a Roma Clef fiction based on my life as a recovering sex and love addict in Hollywood. I have 11 years of recovery in the program of Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. And I just really wanted to write something that entertained especially the non-addicts, and also to educate about what the addiction is in sex and love addiction, because every book I saw out there was so clinical, so educational in a way, but like academic. I couldn't retain one page of information. So yeah, I just released it. It hit bestseller the first weekend, which is crazy.
Incredible. That's fantastic. That's just amazing. So I'm curious, was writing the book part of your recovery, or did you consider yourself recovered and then you wrote the book?
Yeah, I was never going to write a book or come out or out myself, especially because I'm a working actress the last 20 years. But when I hit a decade of recovery, I had this overwhelming feeling of being of service, larger community. I started speaking all over the world, having sponsees and sober coaching all over the world. And it was like I was supposed to write this book, even though being ADHD, having a learning disability, it was something bigger than me, and I just allowed that to happen.
That's remarkable. I was going to ask if you had any writing experience in your past.
No, I am an actor, director, producer through and through. I want someone to write my dialogue for me and give it to me, and I'll say it. But yeah, that's why I'm so proud of the book, because I did have such a bad learning disability that I want to be a voice for people that it doesn't matter how you learn or any of that. You can still be a writer. You can still create.
So I'm curious, was anybody surprised when you wrote the book? How did your family receive it? Did everybody know that you were conquering this addiction beforehand? Were there any, you'll find out more about me when the book is released kind of moments? How was it received for your family and friends?
Oh my God. I mean, that's a mixed question. So my closest friends knew I was in sex and love addiction. I didn't really tell many people the first year of my recovery. The first year is the hardest. So that was kept close to my chest. And I went to therapy for 8 years and worked the program steadily. And so during that time, my family and friends knew. But when I told them I wrote a book, every single person in my life was shocked. And every single one in my family was like, huh? But like I said, when I was writing it, I didn't tell anybody. It was my husband's idea. He kept being like, you need to write. And I was like, leave me alone. I don't want to write anything. Leave me alone. And I took this writing course that was 90 days and I wrote the book, the first draft, in 45 days.
Wow. Amazing. So does the book tackle other addictions as well? In other words, can somebody read this? They might not have a sex and love addiction, but they have something else. Would they benefit from this book as far as how to approach their addiction and get over it or recover from it?
Really, it talks to every ism you can imagine. I mean, I've had people read it and reach out to me and said, I read your book and now I'm going to Overeaters Anonymous. I read your book, now I'm going to Debtors Anonymous. I read your book and I am a sex addict. I read your book and I am dating a sex addict, so I'm going to go to Al-Anon. It really speaks to addiction in general. My main character, Roxanne, she, does touch on the eating, overeating. She does touch on, shopping, but it really is a book that a lot of people can get whatever they need out of it. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to help people not use outside things to fill themselves, because I was doing that and it was destroying my life.
So that brings me to the question that I like to ask guests. If you were talking to your younger self, what mistakes would you tell your younger self to avoid?
Oh God, so many. The first thing I would say is don't watch movies outside of your age range. For me, I saw, really adult movies when I was younger. So it gave me this false sense of what a relationship looked like. For example, and I talk about it in the book, I saw Romeo and Juliet way too young at 6 years old. And I remember seeing, the main character's butt and being like, oh, that's a cute butt. And then at the end, I remember thinking, oh, a relationship means somebody has to be willing to die at the end of the relationship. Somebody's got to drink some poison or stab themselves. So that would be the first thing I would tell myself, to stay away from movies, that's really important. And the other thing I would say is I was so boy crazy, and I would say flirting and intriguing isn't your personality. It's something you do to have yourself feel wanted. So I definitely would back away from doing that at such a young age.
And what are your main factors for your success, do you think?
I think it's my willingness to be authentic now and transparent and very driven. When someone tells me no, I like to prove them wrong. So I guess it's that stubbornness that I bring to it. And I think with acting, with so much rejection now, if someone doesn't like my book or doesn't like the podcast or doesn't like anything, it just rolls off my shoulders. It's like we all have different tastes. So I don't take it personally, because with acting, I had to, detach from when I got a part and when I didn't get a part.
Well, thank you for all your insights and thoughts today, Brianne. I appreciate you joining us from Los Angeles and making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in today. If you'd like to learn more about Brianne and her book, you can go to iwantabuzz.com. There you will find a link to her book on Amazon. Thanks for tuning in again. We'll see you next time.